Hello and welcome to Friday Art with me, Cate Field, artist, teacher, speaker, cat lover. Monty and Amber asleep. They're not very exciting cats, to be honest. They are 17 years old this year, so they're getting on a bit. Welcome to Friday Art. It's about art, not about cats. And thank you so much for all your lovely messages of helping me to get better, actually, because last week I was feeling quite rough. But I'm okay now. In this week's Friday Art, we're going to be continuing the Heartscapes project, and I'm going to be looking at collage, which is one of my favourite mediums actually, and I really love working with collage, and I hope you're going to enjoy this. If you haven't watched the previous tutorials about the Heartscapes project, you can watch them because they're quite fun. And anyway, enough of this. Let's go. This tutorial is going to be fun. I am going to be using all sorts of bits and pieces, lots of bits and pieces that people might just throw away, stuff that's been damaged. I've got an old book that was being thrown away because most of it had been water damage. I've got old bits of sheet music that's torn. I've got a lovely Our Lady of Guadalupe. I do like this. I'm going to use a little bit of that. I've got some wrapping paper. I've got an old map. Just bits and pieces that I like. And in this tutorial, I really want to emphasize that you don't have to have anything fancy. But you do have to have a kind of a decent glue. And I would suggest using something like Mod Podge or gel medium, or PVA glue or white glue, that's fine as well. And then a glue stick, something like that. You do have to have glue that's going to actually do the job. Otherwise, it's just very, very frustrating. And the other thing that we're going to do, I'm going to create a little mini journal. This is a kind of a scrap of paper that I've used when I'm kind of doing other stuff, so it's like I have it in the background, but it's actually quite a nice piece of paper, and I don't throw anything away. So I'm going to turn this scrap of paper into a little journal, and I'm not going to give any measurements or anything like that, because you will have stuff lying around, junk stuff that you might think, oh, I'm never going to use that, I'm just going to throw it away. I'm going to show you how to create this, and then you can create it in your own way. So this was, quite a large piece of paper. It was probably A2 size, and that kind of thing. But it's actually wallpaper lining paper, which is great. It really is. So I'm just going to plonk that one on top. Yeah, beautifully torn there, Kate. Well done. That's fine. Actually quite like it. It's going to be a little bit scrappy. Being scrappy is fine. Just going to pop these here like this. This is going to be a flip journal. I have done a whole tutorial on how I create flip journals. I really like them. I think they're so versatile. You can do them any shape, any size, and it works really well. So basically two thin strips folded in half, and then fold one bit into the middle like that, and that bit. So what's going to start off as being very scrappy is going to end up being quite lovely. Although it certainly doesn't look it at the moment, does it? I really hope you are well. Thank you so much for all your kind messages of when I wasn't feeling very well last week and earlier this week. I am now feeling much better. Thank you. So I'm just going to pop those like that. I might put another page in as well, but I'll show you that later. Anyway, we're going to start off by just decorating the pages, really. Here's me doing also a nice little coffee stain there. Looks like that, doesn't it? And I'm going to start off by doing a bit of background pieces. Again, I'm just going to tear them up. These are some gel prints that I did that sort of left over from another collage bit. That's from a, oh, I think it was from an Earl Grey tea packet. I just thought it was really pretty. Some of these. Now, I have created some collage papers. They are in my shop, and this is one of them. And you can download those if you would like them, because they're quite fun. So yeah, tearing up some of these that I'm going to be using. I'm going to start off with a more neutral background, so I'm going to choose my pages and my sheet music. I've put some Mod Podge in here, and then I add some water, so it's quite runny. I like to work like that. Now I've just got an old soft brush. I've had this for years, this one. So I'm going to start off by just mixing a bit more water into that, so it is quite watery. Put this, I'm going to cover maybe a few of the pages. Just going to pick up on some of the ink I think I was doing on that one. Let's pop that on down there. Now, obviously, if you've done a lot of collage, you will have your own technique. You know, please just use whatever works for you. Some people prefer to use like a glue stick to put your pieces down. I like to use either a gel medium or PVA glue or something like that, because it gives a good finish, but you absolutely don't have to do that. Thinking about where that line is, because I will need to fold, but I'll do that a bit later. Again, just laying down a background to begin with. And with collage, it's a lovely way to just kind of relax, to play, to not worry about what something's going to look like, or you're just enjoying the process. I say this a lot. Those of you who have watched me for a long time, you could probably guess the things that I'm going to say. And not only do I say that in these YouTube lessons, but I say it in my real life classes as well. So I encourage all of my students to embrace the process, to enjoy the process, and to allow themselves to play. And it's something I feel very, very passionate about, which is why I wrote the book. Right, so let's do a little bit more. Just putting this background. It's quite neutral and very, very messy. But you'll see what it turns into a little bit later. You might like to plan things before you start. The only plan I've got in my head for this one is I want a neutral background, and then I'm going to put brighter colours on the top when I start working with my kind of hearts and ideas of love, because this is going to be part of the Heartscapes project. So if you've been watching me for the whole of February, so this is February 2025, started the Heartscapes project, community project. Anyone can get involved. My kind of real life classes here in West Dorset and East Devon are getting involved, which is lovely. And you can get involved as well. There's details in the notes, in the comments, And if you want to join the Facebook group, there's lots of details there. So the idea is that anyone can make a response, an artistic response to the theme of the heart, and in particular thinking about community love, family love, friendship, that kind of thing, rather than romantic love. So it's more about kind of like coming together, that sort of thing. Right, so I'm just sort of adding a few bits here. This will take a little while to dry, and I do want it to dry before I do the next bit, although you don't have to. But because I've got another piece of paper to work on, this one, I'm just going to hang this up, and a bit later I will show you how I hang all of my pieces to dry. I've got my second piece. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to leave them both to dry, flip them over and do the backs as well. It's exactly the same way, mainly in the sort of the neutrals, and then we'll go on to the next step. So while I'm leaving those to dry, I thought I'd just have a quick flick through of another journal that I started a while ago. I've just put in bits of collage that I'm going to be working on over the next few weeks, and I thought I could do a page in here. So I've got one of my little papers here, and I've just cut out some hearts, just cut them out freehand with the scissors. If you've got a punch thing, you could use those as well. And here I'm just using my glue stick, just putting in again this kind of idea of neutral colours in the background. I just wanted to show you just a slightly different way of doing it. As many of these things, there is no right or wrong way. There just isn't. You do it the way that works for you. I'm a huge believer in this. I think it's really important. My art teaching style is not prescriptive. Yeah, I always encourage all of my students to do their own thing. Take my ideas, learn my techniques, and then do your own thing. I'm going to go back to this. This is just a piece of wrapping paper, which I've had for a while. It's really pretty. Just pop that in as well. There we go. And I do like using text, and I will put handwritten words as well as maybe some printed words. Perhaps I'll write a little haiku. I do like that kind of short poem. That's just thoughts that pop into my head, which I think can be really, really effective. This was being thrown away, and it's an old map of Dorset in England, where I live. So that's a little bit of the Dorset map here. Just pop that down there. I really love creating art out of scraps and bits and pieces that would have been thrown away. I really do like that. There's something hugely gratifying about it. Again, you just sort of you could add sort of random bits, and you could add bits that are a bit more meaningful. If you want to, you do your own thing. Again, so when we're putting together ideas in a journal, I think it's really nice that we can then refer back to what we've done. This is really quite a random one, but it was kind of based on this start, embrace the beauty of each step forward. So yeah, so I hope that's kind of inspiring you to do a few things. Right, let's get back to those first pieces. These are now dry. I haven't done anything on the other side yet, but I will be doing that. Just going to pop them together. I'm not going to fix them together yet. There's still a way to go, and I'm not sure which direction I want things to go in just yet. Again, just sort of playing with an idea. This bit's going to go over the top like that, I think. Yeah, that's going to work quite well. So obviously these are the other side, and they're blank. But I'm going to work on this one. I'm going to show you how I kind of bring all of this together and then add the other bits to it. So what I'm going to do now, I'm using some white acrylic paint that I've mixed with water. So it's quite, it's kind of more opaque and it's not very thick. And I'm going to start to put some white over the top. You still see what's underneath, but the white acrylic is just been, well, it's almost scraped really over the top. You can see just putting that across like this. Again, oops, we'll leave it to dry, but you can see how it kind of like bringing all the background together. It is quite subtle. I hope that the camera is able to pick that up. And of course you can always add more. I am going to add a bit of colour to this, but not yet. So I'm just going to do that again, just to show you. And I'm doing this in real time. This is not speeded up. It's you do need to work quite quickly in this. Again, white acrylic paint with water over the top. So I've got it's a smooth texture on this because I am going to be writing on top of it. It just makes it a little bit easier if the surface is smooth. Let's do that. Again, you can still see some of that neutral beigey old paper colour, as I call it, coming through. It's just a little bit more subtle, which is what I want. And I'm just going to hang these ones up to dry. So there they are, hanging up on my my washing line that I have in my studio, where things just kind of get hung up. I thought I would put those up there. It is not sophisticated, as you can see. Now in the centre of my journal, I want to create a heart. I'm going to do it out of this piece of old sheet music. Actually, it doesn't need to be that big. And I'm just going to do my heart there. I folded it in half. I'm just going to do a heart like that. I might have to change the size of it, but we'll see how this works. So that when I open up the journal, right in the middle is going to be this heart. So be, oh, those sticky hands. I think that side looks better. And the fold is there, and that will be in the middle. And I'm going to do another heart here, where I'm going to put some writing because if I write on this one, it won't come up so well unless I kind of write across there, and I might do that. And also I've got this, so I might do something with that as well, but I'm not sure yet. Right, let's see what we're going to do with this, with the centerpiece. Now I'm quite liking it on the map. It's a little bit busy, but that could work. Or I could take one of my collage papers. That could work quite well, and so could that. Now actually I think this works better. I want to have a little bit of a background, just sort of move it around a little bit. But I like this kind of, you've got this rusty colour here, which I think that works quite well. So this is going to be in the middle of my journal. So I've stuck that on there just with a bit of glue stick. Just to pop the lid back on there. And then what I'm going to do is just to trim this up a little bit. Just fold it in half. Like that. There we go. And then I'm going to take part of this. I'm going to use my leftover bits, of course. Just go that. I will be using that bit later. Let's just open that up. So I've got this, and that's going to be in the centre. So that's all ready. I will put that to one side. Right, the next thing we're going to do is create what I call collage papers. So what we're going to do is to take all of the kind of leftover bits from when I've done experiments, when I've done demonstrations, is using gel plates, using stencils, trying out new paints. I keep a lot of these, especially if I particularly like the colours. And then what I'm going to do is to create, like this one, a collage paper. This is just done on a very thin bit of paper. And I've just glued various bits of my other pieces onto the page, left it to dry, and then I can cut out shapes. I'm going to show you how I put together my collage papers, because I know that some people have said they want me to show them how to do this. Again, if you've got your own way of doing it, you can skip this bit because you know how to do it. Right, so let's have a think. I'm liking these colours. I think these work well. I also like this one. It was a stencil on another bit of sheet music. But we need to have a base on which to stick our collage. And this can honestly be anything. And I quite often just use a bit of newspaper or a magazine. So this is just a page from a magazine, trying not to get too distracted by the contents of the magazine. And then what we're going to do is just sort of scatter some of these across the page, and again use whatever glue you want. I'll use a glue stick, I think. Quite like that. Going to take some of these. I quite like the scattered approach. I'm not thinking about it too much. But what I do want to do is to make sure that the whole of the magazine paper is covered so that you can't see any of the magazine. And now I've lost my glue stick. There we go. And I'm just going to stick all of these down, and then we'll come back in a moment. So there we are. I've stuck all of that down. It's just on my magazine paper there. And what I'm going to do now is to cut out some shapes, cut out some hearts, and just have some fun with this piece of collage paper. It still does need drying, but this will be fine. Again, I'm going to cut out my hearts freehand. You could use a punch or stencils, of course. But there's something quite nice, I think, about a freehand heart, although I do use a punch as well. I quite like the quirky aspect, I think. I think that's fun. And these little bits, I might keep those as well. Let's just do these. I'm going to do these in different sizes. Just going to do a few. And obviously this technique could be used for all sorts of things. You know, I particularly like circles. I do quite a lot of my artwork using circles and triangles. I think my whole last collage tutorial was all about triangles. I think it was. So yeah, a few little hearts cut out of this collage paper. I'll do a few more and then I'll show you how I put them into my journal. Many of you have been following my tutorials for a while, and I'm so grateful for this wonderful community. If you've ever wished for more behind the scenes content, exclusive tips, or even just a way to support my work and keep these videos coming, then my YouTube membership might be just the thing for you. As a member, you'll get access to members-only videos, including the Art of Wintering and the Successful Artists Bootcamp. You'll have early access to many tutorials and free downloadable resources such as workbooks and art prompts. It's my way of giving something extra to those of you who want to dive deeper into your own creative practice. So if that sounds interesting, just click the join button below this video or check out the link in the description to find out more. Of course, watching, liking and sharing my videos is already a huge support, and I appreciate every single one of you. Right, let's get back to today's tutorial. So come back to this one. This is my Embrace the Beauty of Each Step Forward journal. And I've put the neutral pieces down and then I've put in the hearts, and I've just started to write some words, just some thoughts. And this page I'm still working on, as you can see. So it's about kind of building up your journal or your collage in however way you want. And when it looks like this, it doesn't look very good. But you know, this is coming together, and I like the ideas of writing things by hand, but also printing out some quotes as well. Now, in my freebies section, you can find a whole load of resources, including a whole load of haikus that you can use in your art journals if you would like. Right, let's just go back to this one. So it's dry, which is a good thing. I've put the heart in the middle. Let's see it like that, which I'm quite liking. I stitched the pieces together just with a bit of twine, so I thought that might work with the kind of the neutral colours, although I might start to put some more brighter colours in. So I've started to do on that one. Okay, I'm liking how this is looking. This is the start of this little flip book. And again, I've got some words. This is a haiku that I wrote earlier this week, which I quite like. Just sort of printed it out. Again, like I said, sometimes I'll do it by hand and handwrite it with my lovely, lovely fountain pens. Other times I'd like to use the text. But when it's on like that, it doesn't look that good. So let's have a think about what else we could do. So I've got some of my hearts that I've already cut out. And I am thinking I need something a little bit brighter, because this is the front. This is going to be the front. And I do like that. But the other thing that I like to do is kind of create little elements like this. Again, I've got a whole tutorial on making these quirky little elements. They are so easy and they're great fun. But the other thing that I was thinking of doing is mounting them onto black, cutting them out and having the black as an outline. So I'm going to do that with a few of these and put them on here. But first I'm just going to put a little bit more on the front, and I've got this piece that I had left over from a stencil demonstration of stars, and I thought that would be quite nice. I don't want to cover up too much of the text, but I do want to have some of the stars showing. Again, I'm just going to use my glue stick for this one. Just move these out of the way like that. And just pop that one on there, I think. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to put a few with the black background. This is just black paper, so it's not card or anything, it's just black paper. Just pop that one on there. I do get very messy with glue. Do you get messy with glue? Please tell me I'm not the only one. There we go. Just pop that one on there. Like this. And then I'll put a few on and then I can cut them out all together. So I think that works quite well. I need another piece of scrap paper, don't I? Here we go. That will do. There we are. I have tried all sorts of glue to try and find something that's not quite so sticky on my hands, but it's never worked. There we go. Let's just push that down. Sometimes I'll get another piece of paper or a bit of cloth. And I'm going to cut those out, and then I'm going to start to put some things into this journal. So I put some of these onto black, and then I found some leftover fluorescent orange card and I thought, oh, let's put that one on there. And then I wondered about doing a kind of a multiple heart. I quite like that. The weather's not great, it's still very cloudy, and I think a bit of fluorescent orange is needed actually. I haven't done a weather update. Let me know what the weather is like where you are. Right, let's put that there, because I am actually getting very fed up with the winter now. And I know we've still got lots of weeks to go yet. So I'm thinking that's, I don't know, I was thinking that might be a bit too big, but now actually I quite like it. It doesn't matter if things go over the edge. It really doesn't. Right, let's make a decision. Let's get that one on there. Yeah, so it's going to go there. So some bits are going to go over the edge. So let's just glue that bit into the middle like that. Press that down. And you can always add a little bit more under there, I think. Yeah, just keep it tidy. And then I can put my words over the top. That could be quite nice, couldn't it? Look at that. Something like that. And then that's the front. The way I do my flip journals, and again I have done a full tutorial on these so you can watch it, is you kind of open it the other way that you would normally with a book, but then you have this sort of exciting reveals of what's going to happen, and at the moment not very much. So let's start putting in some thoughts I've already put in that one. I quite liked it. I was playing around with an idea there that I do quite like. So this is going to be the other kind of front page. And I'm just thinking what would be good here. Quite like the idea of having something down this edge. Again, when you're doing journals, you know, think about your composition, think about what is going to be exciting, what's going to make you happy. Quite like this number 42 just there. That's just makes me smile. Little reference there to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for those who know. It's just oh, see, I'm getting stuck. Everything's getting stuck. There we go. Let's pop that one there, so you won't be able to see that when the book is closed. I am going to do some kind of fastener, and I'll show you what I do at the end. So pop that one there. That might be quite a nice space for a title. I might leave that. But you can see what I'm doing. As I'm building this up, I'm getting ideas. I'm thinking of what might be a nice thing to do. Just and also with my journals, they trigger ideas for a larger piece. So if I'm doing a larger canvas, a painting, a piece of textile art, that kind of thing. But I really do like journals. I've actually put those around the wrong way, haven't I? Oh, never mind, it doesn't matter. It's the thing with short poems, you can kind of move the words around a little bit. Not upside down though, that would just be too silly. Let's pop that there. But you're getting the idea. I'm going to do a little bit more on that. We'll go back to the other book and then I will show you what I do at the end. So I have done a little bit more on this one. I thought a nice kind of cup of tea type vibe to it would be quite fun, and I might add some more things to that. But let's just get the flip book, because I've done some more on this. Oh, it's all this glue, everything gets stuck. All right, let's move that out of the way. Here we go. Oh dear me, there we are. So I haven't done a fastening yet. In the past I've done different types of fastening. I've kind of joined things up with thread. This was my creative advent one, and I do like using twine, and so I've got bits of twine. I might use that. I'll have a think about that. So this is my kind of cover. I'm going to call it Hearts Find Warmth in Shared Stories. I've just sort of started to put together some ideas. I found words that I like from newspapers and from magazines. I do like to do that kind of thing. It makes me happy. And I've written some more little bits of prose, bit of another little haiku, which are fun. I like this idea of the music and singing and that kind of thing. And then another little late into the night, one more chapter, one more page, the story won't sleep. Quite like that. And again, I'm just sort of finding interesting things to put into the journal, and that's the whole point. It's very personal, very, very personal to you. And then I've just got another little one here, sort of about friendship, and yeah, just having some love with it. And I do like these. They make me happy. And they're the sort of things that I will add to. I have lots of journals, lots of little sketchbooks and notebooks, and I like to go back to them, like this one here. And my creative Advent, I will look at that one again next Advent. Let me just find my other one. Here it is. This is the one I did for the autumn. I really did enjoy doing this. I did it over several months, sort of starting late September and going into the end of November. And this one wraps up with just a bit of velvet, actually. So I might do the same for this one, but with the twine. Oh, let's just pop those like that. I do hope you enjoyed that tutorial, that you've got lots of ideas of how you want to take this further in your own art practice. Monty and Amber haven't actually moved. They are still fast asleep. And I hope you can join me next time. But if you want to see some more, you could look at this one or this one. Bye bye.